For more on this, we're joined by Ambassador John Bolton. Ambassador Bolton served as U.S. National Security Advisor during the Trump administration and was the U.S. Ambassador to the UN under President George W. Bush. Ambassador Bolton, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I have to jump right in. Even if all sides agree to the general contours of that Egyptian plan, how practical is this proposal when we know that Israel has made it clear they do not wish to occupy Gaza?
Well, I think it's a non-starter, and the fact that even Hamas has rejected it, I think, shows how unrealistic it is. What Egypt is concerned about, and they have a very legitimate concern, is Hamas simply transporting itself out of Gaza into Egypt. And this is a larger problem, really, for the Arab world, not just for Israel, what to do after the conflict is over. Because rebuilding Gaza is simply recreating a massive refugee camp, and giving Hamas or the Palestinian Authority control over it, I think, just leads us right back to where we were on October 7th.
And, Mr. Ambassador, even with the number of Palestinians who've had to leave Gaza, many of them are trying to flood into Egypt along that border, and that's not what Egypt wants either.
Right, exactly. This is something that we see now after 75 years of war against Israel. The Palestinians had been weaponized by radical Arab states back in the 50s and 60s, and to be used as a weapon against Israel. Now, I think that's all changing. I think governments across the Middle East increasingly are going to continue to recognize Israel, but the Arab states have a legitimate worry about what has happened in the West Bank and Gaza, that these people are supportive of Hamas and Hezbollah and other terrorist groups, and it's a real threat to them. But it's not going to be resolved simply by taking everybody, rebuilding Gaza, and putting them back in there. That is a prescription for more trouble in short order.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Netanyahu laid out Israel's prerequisites for peace in a Wall Street Journal column on Monday. And he talked about how he believes is the destruction of the Hamas a realistic goal, let alone a precondition for peace. I mean, can this actually happen?
Well, I think by destroying Hamas, what they've said consistently is destroy Hamas's military and political capability. So, for example, victory for Israel here means destroying all of those tunnels we've all heard and seen about under the Gaza Strip. That's an enormous task in and of itself. It also means eliminating as much of Hamas's leadership and fighting capability as they can, and they're in the process of doing that. This is also part of a larger war. I mean, as your reporters were mentioning, the attacks on U.S. positions in Syria and Iraq, over 100 now, such attacks since October the 7th. Iranian direct attacks against Israeli ships in the Indian Ocean, Hezbollah rocketing the north of Israel. This is all coordinated by Iran, and I don't think you should treat the Gaza Strip as something separate and unique. It's part of the bigger picture of Iran's what they call ring of fire strategy against Israel.
Mr. Ambassador, two more quick questions for you before I let you go. What about the second prerequisite, the demilitarization of the Gaza Strip? What would it take to accomplish that?
Well, I think that's part and parcel of destroying Hamas, and it goes to the question, what kind of government rules there after Hamas is eliminated, and why the Israelis find the Palestinian Authority unacceptable.
And, Mr. Ambassador, last question I have for you. I asked this earlier to one of our guests. Is Israel losing the information war? It seems that we're seeing more demonstrations, pro-Palestinian demonstrations here in the United States, with people getting arrested and calling with those chants from river to the sea. Is Israel losing the information war?
Well, I think it's got an uphill struggle, and part of it is they can't really reveal what's going on in the military part of this without endangering their own troops. But I think they need to focus more on it and explain why their objective of eliminating Hamas is the only way they can be protected against the repetition of the terror, the brutality, the barbarism of October the 7th.
And get those hostages back home safely. Ambassador John Bolton, thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.